I don't care really that much about Mike Johnson and the potential for a motion to vacate. However, there was talk of Democrats protecting Mike Johnson from a motion to vacate, and they would vote in favor of him retaining his speakership. Because if you had 10, let's say, or 9 Republicans who were to vote against Mike Johnson, the Democrats would step in, but they would do so in return for supporting legislation that they want. In other words, you're going to raise a motion to vacate. We're going to put an amendment on it. That's going to extend the Internet Affordability Act. We have now literally millions upon millions of people who, and I think their funding to provide them high-speed internet from the government, subsidization, has ended. And it has not been renewed because the Republicans have no interest in renewing it. And Democrats were going to insert this into the legislation. So I'm a little bit bummed, frankly, that we're not going to see this, not because it would be fun to watch, although it would be fun to watch. But it appears that Donald Trump has said jump to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she has said, of course I will. And here's Steve Bannon. He and I are both upset about this.
Tell me about Speaker Mike Johnson. What is going on here? I mean, President Trump backing him again over the weekend in Mar-a-Lago, really taking the wind out of anybody's sails for getting rid of this guy. Give us your analysis on this.
I don't agree with that. I don't think President Trump, the people around him, are giving him the information. Look at what came out today. Axios broke a huge story. Want to see Mike Johnson, all his glory? He flies back from Mar-a-Lago, has a big dinner with all these fat cat donors in Washington, D.C. last night, and he talks about what he will do if they hold the House. He's going to do it. All the reforms are done of the power sharing. He's going to go back to a hardcore D.C. cartel. He's going to get rid of the 3 conservatives on the Rules Committee. They're going to take charge of the Rules Committee. He basically lays out everything we fought for in getting rid of McCarthy. Mike Johnson now, as a conservative, is going to undo. Don't take it from me. Read Axios. Axios got direct notes from the meeting last night. And this shows you the kind of worm that Mike Johnson is. Look, there's no bigger platform supporting President Trump and demanding that Johnson and Jordan immediately start a criminal conspiracy investigation, with having subpoenas fly this week to go on offense against this outrage of President Trump and what they're doing in the courts. But President Trump on Mike Johnson is just dead wrong. And they've shown a bunch of phony polls. Here's what happened in Mar-a-Lago. They showed typically, they gun-decked the polling, and they showed the polling, oh my gosh, we're going to lose the House, it could lose the presidency, we have another motion to vacate. That's all crap. You can create reality by your actions. That's what they failed to. These polls, make sure those polls, they're all totally phony. The way they answer the questions, the way they get the results is phony. And then everybody goes, oh, look at the polling. Hey, War Room doesn't do that. We create realities. We don't sit there and look at polling and wet ourselves.
All right, pause it. Here's now. This is Bannon obviously talking about, and there's a lot of stuff that's actually really interesting in this. One, he is showing the abject failure of the entire force the vote hijinks. And at the end of the day, we ended up getting the Ukraine funding, and now they're going to lose a couple of members of that Rules Committee from the Freedom Caucus if Mike Johnson gets the votes to do it. They're coming for those people. That's it. And Donald Trump is begging. He doesn't really have to beg. They will respond to immediately. I don't want this anymore because it is distracting and makes me look bad, and it's going to hurt my chances of winning the presidency. But Bannon has the same mentality as the Bush administration did in the run-up to the Iraq War, where he says, we create the reality. That's almost a direct quote from the Bush administration back in the early aughts. The quote was something to the effect, and in fact, I remember interviewing the author of the book, and I cannot remember what it is, but you're part of the reality-based community somebody
Ron
had told.
Susskind or no?
Was it Ron Susskind?
Reporter, a senior official told Ron Susskind.
Right. And Janine and I interviewed him, actually, I think even before he put this in the book. And a senior a member of the administration said to him, "You're part of the reality-based community. You know, we create our reality."
I have it here. The aide said that the guys like me were in what we call the reality-based community, which he defined as the people who, quote, believe that solutions emerge from your judicious study of discernible reality. That's not the way the world really works. We are an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. And while you're studying that reality judiciously as you will, we'll act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too. And that's how things will sort out. We're history's actors, and you, all of you, will be left to just study what we do.
That's right, and on some level, that's true. We just
Bannon.
watched the disaster in which they created in Iraq, and in many respects, that's also. I mean, this is a very deeply right-wing mentality.
Yes,
which is that and authoritarian and sort of fascy, frankly. Because I mean, this is what they do. They force. This is facts on the ground. Yep. In Israel, it is this is what they do. They will say
Bannon saying there, we don't care about polling. I just want to point that out in particular because that's exactly what we're saying. It doesn't matter what the reality is or what the will of the people is. We don't care that we're minoritarian. We don't care that we're not really representing what the polling says. We care about implementing what we want to get implemented, and we saw that with abortion.
But he's saying something. He's saying something a little bit different, I think, which is that we can change the polling by creating, by going forward. Like the idea that you can guess at what people are, how people are going to react to this. You go and you do it, and to some extent, this is why we see the right in this country a lot more bold when they have a little bit of power. They will not provide a hearing for a Supreme Court nominee in February, but when they have the presidency, they'll push that through in October. They will do that, regardless of what and if you took the polling, I'm sure if you asked a polling question when Mitch McConnell did that, should the Republicans, is it wrong for the Republicans to deny a nominee even a hearing? I'm sure the polling would say 90%. Like, it is wrong to do that in February. But they go out and they will create a different reality. And that's what Bannon is talking about there. And he may be right about these type of questions. We never see Democrats do anything like that, frankly. But it's also interesting to his sense that this won't hurt. I happen to disagree that it would actually hurt on some level, but that's also a function of how well the Democrats pick up on it. The Democrats failed to really nail the House as a do-nothing House. Maybe they'll do that soon, but it's interesting to hear him speculate in this way. And it's also interesting to hear that Donald Trump is worried about what's happening in Congress. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.